Coming up next on Live, Work, Play, we will be taking a virtual tour with Tracy von Harten of the Beaufort Art Association Gallery.
Hi, I'm Tracy von Harten. I'm with the Beaufort Art Association Gallery. We're at 913 Bay Street in downtown Beaufort, and I'd like to welcome you to our cooperative. We are a group of 65 artists, all from Beaufort County, and starting off to my right here, we have 2 watercolor artists, Ellen Long, who has been with the association many years, more years than I should mention, and also Nancy Walnes. Watercolor is a very difficult medium. It's very hard to control. So you can see they are a master of this type of art because you can see the high contrast, lots of color, and the boldness, very hard in watercolor. In our gallery, you'll see a lot of landscapes. The Beaufort scenery, I think it captivates people, inspires them. This is Frank Gorman. He is the president of our association right now, a resident of Habersham, and this is his view of downtown Beaufort with the swing bridge. And you can see a couple of dolphin in there jumping, I think. Kind of new to Beaufort art scene, well, newish. For a very long time, Beaufort art was mostly watercolor. I'm saying maybe 40, 50 years ago. We've had a great group of artists move here. They're abstract artists. This is Penny Beasley, and I think she is a master of the abstract form. You can see the energy in here. You see what you may see in it. It's not representational, but the colors are magnificent. This is Frank Sorelli. Frank was a former illustrator by trade in New York City, so you could see lots of detail in his work. But he has a tendency to add a few strange elements. I can hear the bird is way on the foreground. An Audrey Hepburn looking woman is almost like it's a day at the beach, but something is a little bit different with this bird coming close. This is an unusual art, only artist that weaves. So this is tapestry. This is an image of Sojourner Truth. And so this is all done on a loom weaving, so it's a very traditional art form, but our only artist that works in textiles. Yeah. John Meckley is a very popular artist here in the Low Country. Almost all of his images are of the marsh and with a few egrets. They're very soothing. People a lot of times buy them because they say they're very calming and they like the way they make them feel in their house, that it's a very tranquil state. Okay, yeah, we have to show Jimi Hendrix. So that's again our illustrator, Frank Sorelli. And I mean, people thought it's so realistic that if they thought it was from a photograph, like he'd photoshopped it. But he has done that by hand with a very small brush, oil paint, a very soft brush. And I love the neon colors in it. It really pops. I guess we would call it pop art. Yeah. On this back wall, you see a whole collection. Not only we have paintings, but we have a lot of craftsmen. So we have jewelry. This is a fun necklace here. This is what we call the taco necklace. Carolyn Alderman is the artist, and she hand forms all of these beads. And the reason she calls it a taco necklace is she bakes them, lays them out, and then forms them in the shape of a taco. Lets them dry and harden, and then she strings the necklace. We have woodworkers, so this is all hand turned on a lathe. This is Nick Demonis' work here. And we also have a wonderful ceramicist. This is Daniel McSweeney, and he does little bitty vases, little cups, but he also is prone to do these fun vases. And then also he does these tipsy teapots that look like something from Alice in Wonderland. And so they're a little bit tilted. I'll show you one of those when we come around the corner. This is a brand new artist we have from Hilton Head. And he makes these cutting boards that the pattern goes all the way through. So it's end grain wood, but no matter how much you cut, the pattern will be there because it's laid all the way through the entire board. So these are made of different types of hardwood. Like for example, this is black cherry, black walnut, hard maple, and Paduac. And the artist is Gary Carosi. Also from Hilton Head, this is another artist, Rothenberg. And he takes driftwood that he finds at the beach, and then he adds this, it's leaded stained glass. And it's sort of, I don't know, it kind of feels like you're snorkeling and you're looking in along a reef. That's what it feels like when I look at it. Ooh. Dixie Vigil. Now Dixie works with a church, and all of the missionaries that come to Beaufort, she paints them a picture of a lighthouse to sort of help guide their way. So she has painted so many of these throughout the years and given them away. But we finally talked her into bringing some into the gallery, and I think they're pretty magnificent. It's stormy. The lighthouses are always a little bit like they're about to go down, but they're still there to light the way. So we really like Dixie's work. So this is an artist. She lives in Port Royal. Her name is Jan Glover. Sorry about that. And she has a whole section of jewelry here. One of our top sellers. So she does things with found objects, and then this one is copper with an embossed, enameled stamp on it. One of her most popular, here they are. Here's some of her earrings that are really, really popular. very delicate, very light, and they're long, but they're light so they don't hurt your earlobes. But she is very talented, and again, Port Royal, so just down the road. This is Sharon Cooper, and if you look real closely, all of this is hand-cut glass. I don't know if you've ever tried to lay tile. I tried to lay tile in my bathroom once, and it was like a disaster. These are all hand-cut pieces that are put together in a mosaic, and it's a beautiful composition. So she has iridescent glass, 3 different types just of transparent, opaque, and then iridescent. She does the small pieces, but this, of course, would command any room. This piece is Daniel McSweeney. That's a beautiful one. It's a flower bowl, is what he calls it. You can see the scalloped edges. He lives and works here in downtown Beaufort on Duke Street. He has a gallery there and he teaches classes. But he's able to basically be an at-home dad with his kids because he teaches pottery. So anybody wanting to take a class and learn how to do it, he's the guy, and we can get you his contact information too. The gallery has been here since, I believe it's 2000, but the association, 1957, older than any of us. And as a matter of fact, I think I did mention before, we do have one artist who is an original member, founding member, and is still an artist, and she still paints, and she's part of a painting group, and she still shows in here, and she's 93. And I can't say her name now because I said the age. And she's a great Southern lady, so she would have me if I told her who it was. We were originally on an older house in Bay Street, and there were steps, and it was an old historic house. It was a neat location, but downtown Bay Street, you can't beat this. Yeah. It was a group of artists. Some had been to art school, and they came to Beaufort, and the art scene was very small here and just developing, and they realized they needed, there wasn't a gallery yet, but it was a way for the artists to get together and support each other. And then in '93, I believe, is when they started a gallery. Yeah. This section we call the brick wall. And these are seasoned artists, and they don't change their work every month, but that usually changes because they sell. So, fantastic black and white photography by Karen McCarthy.
Thank you.
So some of her inspiration comes from Garden a Day Club in Beaufort, paddling, of course. I think this one is also from Garden a Day, from Beaufort Garden Club. So that's when people open up their houses and you can go and tour the gardens, so she's taken advantage of that. And a lot of these she prints with a kind of a silver gelatin style, which makes it a little iridescent, and really the black and white really shows off the contrast from the trees. These baskets, what's neat about them, you smell it, it's pine needle. So most people look and I think, pine needle, like pine straw from my yard? How can you make a basket from that? But she is able to smooth it and weave it and waxes it a little bit so that it lays down, but it still has a wonderful smell. Isn't that nice? And then in the center, there's a bit of decal. She does a little decorative work. So I think that's a real fun one. The most ornate bowls that we have in the entire gallery are from Frank Anson. I asked him, how in the world do you make this pattern? He said, imagine building something out of Legos and then putting on a lathe and grinding it into a bowl. And that's the process. He lays it out, all the pattern, and then he grinds it. And these are really quite delicate. If you think of how chunky some bowls can be, it's very wispy, but pretty dynamic, huh? Well, we are a lot of variety because we are 60 plus artists and a whole range of skills. So some people may have just been painting, there's a freshness to their painting, and then there's some people that are skilled, they've been painting for their entire life. But what's surprising to some is that they think we just have paintings, but we do have a lot of different, again, jewelry, ceramics. Like this is one of the fun teapots from Daniel McSweeney. So we have ceramics, jewelry, wooden bowls, and then we also, what's surprising for some people, is the price point in, we have bin work. They're original paintings, so they're just like what you would get on the wall, but instead of being framed, they are much lower price. For example, this one is $100, whereas something that was framed that was on the wall may be around $200 to $300. On a Friday night, what you could expect in here, on a first Friday, 100 to 200 people, appetizers, wine, and the artists are here to help explain some of their process, share their, I don't know, their opinion or what inspires them. So it's a great time. That's a great time to meet the artists. Most days, 2 artists are working to man, so you'll always meet one of the local artists when you come in. One of our best volunteers, and he has done so much for the organization, is Royal Fife. And not only is he a great lover of the arts and a great volunteer, he works on the database, he works on construction and painting, but he's also a fantastic artist. He works at very, very tiny scale, But if you can believe it, all of this is made of wood. We have a cricket. We have even a mosquito. So it is countless hours, all of this carved in wood. The swallowtail, so he has learned to shave the wood so thin that it makes the pattern of some of these insects. The first one he did, I believe, was a scorpion. And he found as the smaller and smaller he shaved the wood, the more wing-like appearance came. And the name of this one is Dinner at Daffodils. The daffodil flowers. We've been starting to where we do art reflective of the events that are going on. So, for example, the Shrimp Festival last year, we have a tiny shrimp here. Well, actually, it's a big shrimp for a shrimp. But we asked the artists to bring in anything that they had that was shrimp or fish, and that was really fun. Because people have oysters, shrimp, boats, white boots, and I think it really reflects our community, and it's what when people come to visit, it's the kind of art that they're looking for. So something there's a little piece of Beaufort to take home. Yeah, this is one of my favorite landscape artists that we have in the gallery. Susan McCarthy is her name, and you could see the range of the boats, the marsh, and the scale of them. They're very captivating, and the color is amazing. But like the marsh in here, if you know of living in Beaufort, there's a certain time of year, about now into July, when the marsh just goes chartreuse like that. And she really captures it in this piece. An assortment, again, a little bit of everything that's going on in here. Jewelry, cutting boards, unique wood pieces, ceramics, unusual sculptures, not so traditional. This is one of our newest jewelers, Helena Appleton, and she does asymmetrical pieces. Most of her pieces are one of a kind, so you know when you pick that up, you're going to be the only one in town. Maybe a slight variation, but she works a lot with sea glass, pearls, but we're really excited to have her in the gallery. Okay, I'm going to show you a painting that's from the longest member of the Art Association. So, 93 years old, a founding member, and still painting and bringing in new paintings at each show. So, if that's not inspired, that doesn't tell you that art makes you live longer. Beaufort is a unique town, and there's quite a few people that are drawn to Bluffton or Hilton Head. Beaufort, I would say, attracts very unique individuals, artistic individuals. So they come here because it's a different kind of a place, they're drawn to it, and they are inspired by the landscape and kind of the funkiness of this place, and I think it helps them with their art. I do. I think it inspires. I think it makes more creative individuals, and it makes creative individuals produce more. So many folks get inspired by, well, for example, I'll show you one of these photographs. The rookeries that we have here. This one is on the way out to Hunting Island. So the beach, the birds, the rows of trees that we have, the plantation trees, and then of course the marsh. We always have the marsh in lots of scenes here, and the water. Yeah, I think it speaks to the artist, and then they're drawn here, and then they produce well while they're here. Every 2 months you come in this gallery, it looks like a new gallery because we change over every 8 weeks. So on the second, on the Monday, first Monday of every 2 months, this place is bustling. We will have artists dropping off their new artwork, taking out the old, and then we have an amazing committee that's about eight or nine, and they just start, they see the new artwork and they start coming up with the concept. Now, if you were like at a museum, it takes months. They lay out, they paint, they come up with these concepts. Our group has about 10 minutes to look at all the art that's been dropped off, and then it's go. And then they're deployed and try to make the show have some kind of fluidity and some themes to it. So it's pretty exciting, it's pretty bustling. You never know what it's going to look like. You look at it today, it'll look totally different at the end of the day on Monday. So that's a fun part of the process. And that does encourage the artist. Every 2 months they need to bring in new work. So it is, again, like having some homework. The Beaufort Art Association, we're always accepting new artists. You have to be from Beaufort County is the #1 thing. And it's pretty simple. Fill out an application, you bring a couple of your pieces, and then we share it. We have a gallery committee that reviews all the art. But in the last year, everybody that's applied has been accepted. And we're proud of that. Part of what we like to offer artists is a chance to join the art community. So we had 3 people that came in right after the pandemic, and they were first-time artists. And they said, I started painting during the pandemic, but I want a place to show. And they're still with us. So I think it's part of that community for an artist to be around other artists. And every 2 months, they have to create a new show. So they have to bring in 4 new pieces. So it kind of gives you a little homework. So we definitely welcome anyone that would like to apply. It's BeaufortArtAssociation.com, and we have more information about that, or you can visit us here at 913 Bay Street in Beaufort, and we'd be glad to let you know the next steps to become one of our artists.